What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Shavkat Rakhmonov has finally responded to Joaquin Buckley's persistent call-out. Buckley has been vocal on social media, insisting that a win over Rakmonov would fast-track him to a title shot. Buckley took to Instagram, writing that Rakmonov has never faced someone with his speed, pressure, or power, and claimed that he is ready to expose all of Rakmonov's holes, hesitation, and limits. Buckley's post was filled with confidence, stating that Rakmonov has been living off an image and that a fight with him would change that entirely. Buckley directly challenged Rakmonov, saying, "You talk about being the next contender, so now I am the one standing in your way to do something about it. A fight with me exposes everything. That's why your team won't say my name." The intensity of the call-out caught attention across the MMA community, with fans and fellow fighters weighing in on the potential matchup. Henry Hu also chimed in, emphasizing that no fighter should underestimate Rakmonov and urging seriousness when addressing contenders, stating, "None of you boys should fight me. I'm telling you right now, Shavkat, but Gomiev is coming for you. No contender talk, no excuses, just sign the contract." Rakmonov responded subtly but confidently in the comments, writing, "Black boy, you get beat up," which further escalated the tension. Buckley fired back quickly, replying, "Nah, say what you really want to say, little," keeping the back and forth alive and intensifying the animosity between the two fighters. The exchange has clearly set the stage for a potential high-stakes clash, with Buckley pushing aggressively to secure a fight that could position him as the next contender in the division. The situation highlights the competitive nature of the division, where fighters are not only looking to prove themselves in the octagon, but also using social media to stake claims and provoke responses. Both Rakmonov and Buckley are skilled, explosive athletes, and the escalating tension has fans excited about a possible matchup that could shake up the rankings. With Buckley pushing hard and Rakmonov responding confidently, this rivalry is becoming one of the most talked about potential fights in the division, signaling that a major showdown could be on the horizon if negotiations move forward. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to help support the channel. Moving on to another news. Charles Oliveira is positioning himself for a title shot with a big win over Max Holloway at UFC 326. Last week, it was officially revealed that Oliveira will be facing Holloway for the BMF belt, and since then, he has made it clear that a dominant performance could catapult him back into the lightweight title picture. During a video appearance on AgFight's YouTube channel, Oliveira discussed the current state of the lightweight division and his plans to leverage both his skills and popularity to get back into the championship mix. Oliveira expressed confidence that he is a much bigger name than Paddy, Justin Gaethje, and Arman, and he believes that securing the BMF title will make it impossible for the UFC to ignore him when it comes to the next title fight. The UFC is a game. You have to learn how to play it, otherwise you get left behind, Oliveira said. He went on to explain that Toya has been going through difficult moments and requested some time off, which led to two other fighters competing for the interim belt in January. Oliveira emphasized that, in his view, he sells significantly more pay-per-views and has far more charisma than the two fighters currently set to compete for the title. He also pointed out that Arman should have been fighting for the belt, either for the interim or undisputed title, but for reasons unknown, the UFC did not put him in that position. Oliveira reiterated that his drawing power and popularity give him an edge in negotiations and public interest. He is determined to put on a great fight against Holloway, and he is confident that a strong performance and a win will force the UFC to consider him next in line for the lightweight championship. Oliveira acknowledged the potential impact on Arman, noting that if he wins and moves into the title contention mix, Arman's chances are further diminished. He suggested that this scenario could even push Arman to consider a change in weight division. Oliveira's comments highlight his strategic approach to navigating the UFC landscape, combining skill, charisma, and timing to secure opportunities. With a focused mindset and a commitment to delivering a high-level performance, Oliveira is confident that a big win at UFC 326 could firmly establish him as a top contender once again, reshaping the lightweight division and reinforcing his position as one of the sport's most marketable and skilled fighters. Moving on to another news, Conor's sobriety might be hitting the headlines again, and fans are already reacting in full force. The latest clip making the rounds shows Conor at his own pub, sharing a moment with Mike Tyson. After previously saying he got himself back on track with ibogaine treatment in Tijuana, the new footage has sparked a wave of speculation. The way he's moving, talking, and carrying himself has people convinced something is off, and the comment section wasted no time diving in. The video starts with Conor hyping up the room, full of energy, pacing around with that familiar swagger. He raises his voice, smiles wide, and looks absolutely charged up as the crowd reacts to him. It's the kind of scene that instantly gets fans talking, especially considering everything he's publicly claimed about turning his life around. The Christmas vibe inside the pub is loud, chaotic, and full of that signature Conor flair. But what really caught fans was his almost jittery, amped-up behavior. It wasn't long before viewers started dropping some harsh comments. One fan wrote, "Found Jesus, found Pablo again," hinting at how quickly they think Conor may have slipped back into old habits. Another said, "Sorry, Chandler, no way this guy's not on drugs," clearly referring to the long-delayed fight and Conor's readiness. Someone else chimed in, "That's one wild homie, lol. He's wired. He looks like he's ready to run a lap around the country." And another fan added, "Back on the sauce again. Healed my lasted approximately 2.5 seconds after he left the retreat." The final punchline in the comments came from someone joking, Jesus was the name of his supplier. Whether the clip shows a man celebrating or a man losing control, fans are convinced they've seen this pattern before. With every new video, every new outburst, and every surprise appearance, the conversation around Conor just keeps growing. And this latest moment only adds more fuel to the fire. Moving on to another news. Joe Rogan and Brendan Allen recently came to Khamzat's defense following a run-in with Ian Gary. Allen appeared on Rogan's podcast to break down the altercation and share his perspective. Allen, who has trained with Gary in the past, said he wasn't surprised by the situation. He explained that provoking others and then acting shocked is just typical behavior for Gary in the room, and it's something he's witnessed before. Allen added that he appreciates Gary's demeanor in some ways, but the way he interacts can be frustrating. He explained that Gary tends to nitpick and try to get a rise out of people, almost like a big brother testing reactions. He's that guy, Allen said. He wants to get a rise so he can later act surprised or claim he didn't mean it. Allen shared that he personally doesn't like Gary because of patterns he's seen over time, including past incidents where Gary talked trash through other people or directly on his phone, trying to provoke him and his friends. During the podcast, Allen described the confrontation in detail. He said Gary approached Khamzat and hit him hard on the back, which seemed intended to provoke him. Khamzat, Allen explained, just looked at Gary calmly before reacting by pushing him back. According to Allen, the way the incident appeared in the widely circulated clip only showed part of the story. The initial slap on the back from Gary triggered Khamzat's reaction, and what followed was a measured response rather than an unprovoked attack. Allen clarified that the interaction was slightly aggressive, but also had elements of passive aggression. Gary tapped Khamzat, grabbed at his clothes, and shoved him lightly, trying to assert control. Khamzat, in turn, responded just enough to defend himself, shaking Gary off and asserting boundaries, but without escalating the situation further. Allen emphasized that the full context of the altercation shows Khamzat was calm and controlled, handling the situation appropriately, while Gary's behavior was the instigating factor. The discussion highlighted how these interactions can be misunderstood when viewers only see isolated clips. Moving on to another news. Brendan Schaub recently slammed Daniel Cormier over his commentary on UFC 323, specifically regarding the fight between Merab Dvalishvili and Petr Yan. On his Thick Boy podcast, Schaub expressed frustration with DC's assessment, arguing that DC painted the fight as closer than it actually was and seemed to give Merab more credit than he deserved. According to Schaub, the fight was not even close, with Yan clearly dominating and winning nearly every round. Schaub recalled watching the fight and feeling confused by DC's commentary. After 2 rounds, he remembered thinking, "Oh, this is 2-0 for Yan. This is easy. 2-0, only to hear DC argue, "What? I don't agree with those. Merab this, Merab that." Schaub said he felt like he was watching a completely different fight. He stressed that the fight was a blowout and should have been scored 50-45 across the board in favor of Yan. He went on to critique how fights are judged, emphasizing that the #1 factor should be significant damage inflicted, not CompuStrike numbers, takedown defense, or other statistics that commentators often highlight. Schaub pointed out that Yan consistently delivered significant damage to Merab, using body shots, powerful kicks to the body, and well-timed right hands, all set up from his jab. He argued that this level of dominance clearly dictated the outcome of the fight, making it impossible to consider it close by any standard. Schaub's critique also highlighted the difference between commentary and reality, noting that commentators sometimes miss the decisive nature of fights when they focus on minor details rather than the visible damage being done. He made it clear that Merab was overwhelmed by Yan's precise striking and consistent pressure throughout the match. Looking ahead, Schaub predicted that fans would see another high-stakes matchup on the upcoming White House card, pointing to a likely showdown between Petr Yan and Sean O'Malley. He emphasized that fans should expect a significant clash between Russia and the USA, with both fighters bringing elite-level skills and knockout potential. Schaub's commentary serves as a reminder of the importance of analyzing fights based on real damage and dominance, rather than relying solely on subjective or statistical perspectives, making it clear that Yan's performance at UFC 323 was a masterclass in control and striking precision. Moving on to another news, Merab is officially fighting Petr Yan next, confirmed by the UFC. This past weekend, we watched Merab step into the cage for the fourth time this year to defend his title. Unfortunately for him, he couldn't make history by defending the belt 4 times in a single calendar year. Even after the loss, Merab has appeared to be in good spirits, posting videos online where he looks positive, relaxed, and clearly recovering well. He even shared a statement on X, giving fans an update on his health and ending it by saying he's ready for the rematch as soon as possible. During a recent interview, Merab revealed that the UFC already told him the rematch with Petr Yan is next. They went as far as telling him to rest as long as he wants before taking the fight. In the translated portion of the interview, Merab said, "The UFC contacted me and said, please rest as long as you want. Your next fight is a rematch with Petr Yan for the belt. Rest as long as you want and call us when you're ready. They probably want to do the fight in the summer, but I don't want to wait until the summer. I'll repeat once again, I didn't get any serious injuries from this fight. Anyways, I want to schedule the fight early, maybe in the spring, in April. That would be good. Or maybe the fight can be scheduled in the summer." Even with the UFC offering Merab all the time he needs, he still wants to stay active, which says a lot about his mindset and dedication. He's hungry, determined, and eager to get that rematch sooner rather than later. Huge props to him for that level of commitment. As all of this was unfolding, Rogan talked about the upcoming rematch on his podcast, reacting to Petr Yan's performance and the extreme preparation needed to beat someone like Merab. Rogan said Yan's training camp must have been absolute hell, pointing out the wild strength and conditioning videos that surfaced online. He emphasized that Yan knew exactly what he was up against, explaining that if you're fighting a guy like Merab, you know what the mountain is, and you've got to be ready to climb it. Rogan also mentioned that in their first fight, Yan had an injured right hand, and after re-watching the fight, he noticed Yan was barely using it. Psychologically, going into a fight knowing you essentially have one hand changes everything. Your combinations, your timing, your confidence. It all makes sense now when you look back at that performance. Moving on to another news. Sean O'Malley recently accused Petr Yan of avoiding him, claiming that if he gets past Sonadong, he should be the one to challenge Yan for the title. On a recent discussion, Sean revealed that Tim showed him a clip earlier in the day where Yan started laughing when asked if he would grant a rematch should Sean defeat Sona. According to O'Malley, this reaction isn't new, as Yan has consistently avoided discussions about a potential rematch even before this incident. Sean clarified that he isn't suggesting Petr Yan is scared of him, acknowledging Yan's toughness and skill. However, he pointed out that Yan's avoidance raises questions about why a champion would sidestep a credible challenger. Yan has given various reasons in the past, claiming that O'Malley isn't deserving or not good enough, but Sean argued that those are precisely the reasons a champion should defend the belt. He emphasized that every fighter expects to face legitimate challengers, and avoiding a fight goes against the spirit of competition. O'Malley compared the situation to other notable matchups, highlighting that champions usually defend against top contenders regardless of past opinions or rankings. He reminded fans that he fought Cheeto, demonstrating his own willingness to face tough opponents. By contrast, Yan's reluctance to engage in discussions about a rematch with Sean feels out of place in the competitive landscape. Sean also mentioned that while Merab Dvalishvili and Umar Nurmagomedov could have potential rematches, his focus remains on advancing past Sona, recognizing that it won't be an easy task. The conversation underscores Sean's determination to secure a title shot while criticizing Yan's avoidance as unusual for a reigning champion. He expressed confidence in his path forward, stressing that defeating persona is the next step before he can force the discussion about a championship fight. O'Malley's comments reflect a mix of frustration and motivation, highlighting both his desire for a rematch and his commitment to proving himself as a top contender in the division. Moving on to another news, Sean O'Malley shared his thoughts on the potential rematch between Merab Dvalishvili and Petr, expressing serious skepticism about a third fight. On a recent episode of The Bro O'Malley Show, he explained why he doesn't believe a trilogy makes sense, pointing out that Merab was thoroughly dominated by Yan at UFC 323. According to Sean, the idea of running it back just doesn't add up, considering how one-sided the first fight was. He discussed the logical question of who Merab would fight next if a rematch with Yan doesn't happen, weighing the possibilities. Sean emphasized that the results of the previous fight matter, highlighting that Merab lost decisively with a 50-45 scorecard. While some fans might argue that Merab deserves a rematch, Sean pointed out that the level of dominance Yan showed complicates the situation. The first fight was already heavily in Yan's favor, and that result can't be ignored when planning future matchups. The conversation also touched on the context of the first fight, including the fact that Merab had a broken hand during the bout, which some might use to justify giving him another shot. Even with that consideration, Sean remained doubtful, stressing that the outcome was still decisive enough to question the need for a trilogy. He argued that there isn't enough reason to automatically book a rematch, especially when the previous fight clearly established Yan as the stronger fighter on that night. Sean's perspective highlights a growing debate in the UFC community about the merit of trilogies when one fighter has already clearly proven superiority. Fans and analysts often expect close contests to justify multiple fights, but in Merab and Yan's case, the result at UFC 323 may make a third fight unnecessary. Sean made it clear that while Merab is a skilled competitor, the logic of booking another fight with Yan doesn't fully align with the events that have already unfolded. He reinforced that the dominant performance by Yan should be the guiding factor in determining what's next for Merab, suggesting that a trilogy may not be on the horizon.